This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Oil benchmark Brent hovered close to $86 a barrel on Monday as hostilities intensified between Russia and Ukraine and in the Middle East. Brent crude futures climbed 40 cents to $85.83 a barrel by 11:24 GMT, while U.S. crude futures also gained 40 cents to $81.03. Both benchmarks have risen steadily this year, with Brent up nearly 11% and WTI about 12.5% by Friday's close. The upward trajectory is linked to belief that a sticky recession is being fought off, with interest rates in major economies expected to fall by the summer, while the OPEC Plus group of oil producers has extended supply curbs into the second quarter.
Foreign oil firms operating in Iraq's Kurdistan region are partly to blame for the delay in resuming crude exports after failing to submit contracts for revision, Iraq's oil ministry said. The Iraq-Turkey oil pipeline, ITP, which once handled about 0.5% of global oil supply, has been halted, stuck in legal and financial limbo, since March 2023. The flows were halted after the Paris-based International Chamber of Commerce in a long-standing arbitration case ruled Ankara had violated provisions of a 1973 treaty by facilitating such exports without the consent of the Iraqi federal government.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Ukraine is keeping electricity imports high and not planning to export power on Monday after Russian attacks on the energy sector, the energy ministry said. Russia attacked Ukrainian generating and transmission facilities last week and over the weekend, causing blackouts in many regions. For the current day, electricity imports are forecast at 14,887 megawatt-hours, MWH. No exports are expected, the ministry said in a statement. Ukraine imported 14,900 megawatt-hours on Sunday and 3,300 megawatt-hours a day before the first in the latest wave of attacks on its power sector on March 22.
Asia's refining margins for very low sulfur fuel oil, VLSFO, edged up on Monday, while the 380 CST high sulfur fuel oil, HSFO, crack closed at a narrower discount. Singapore's VLSFO crack edged higher toward $13 a barrel, while cash differentials for VLSFO inched 5 cents lower, to $1.60 a metric ton. The 380 CST HSFO recovered as firmer bids emerged. Spot 380 CST high sulfur fuel oil differentials narrowed slightly to a discount of about $2.76 per ton, while its crack narrowed to a discount of $10.35 a barrel from the previous $10.44. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. Aluminium prices touched an 11-week high on Monday over concerns over slow recovery and production in China's Yunnan province and supported by a strong technical outlook. 3-month aluminium on the London Metal Exchange, LME, was up 0.4% at $2,318.50 a metric ton as at 12:07 GMT. After touching $2,323, its highest since January 3. It is the only metal registering gains in the LME base metals complex for the day. The technical outlook for aluminium is positive after breaking above the major moving averages, Robert Montefusco at commodities brokerage Sucden Financial said.
Gold prices firmed on Monday as investors positioned for key economic data and comments from Federal Reserve officials this week for further clues on the timing of interest rate cuts signaled by the U.S. Central Bank. Spot gold was up 0.5% at $2,175.21 per ounce, as of 13:06 GMT, while silver rose 0.5% to $24.78. U.S. gold futures climbed 0.8% to $2,177. The weekly initial jobless claims print due on Thursday, followed by the U.S. Core Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index data on Friday.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
Russian wheat export prices rose for the second week in a row, buoyed by world markets, and shipments may set a new record for March, analysts said. The price of 12.5% protein Russian wheat scheduled for free on board (FOB) delivery in April was $204.50 a metric ton, up $3.50 from the previous week, the IKAR Agriculture Consultancy reported. The Sovcon Agriculture Consultancy pegged the same class of wheat at $202 to $205 a ton FOB, compared with $201 to $204 a week earlier. That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.